So in the last video, we were able to finish building out our homepage. But before we jump into the explore page, I want to go ahead and fix a few things. For example, there's some margin here, which should not apply. And then we also want this icon to appear as blue, just like the rest of these other icons. So what I'm going to do is open up my DevTools. And then inside here, I'm just going to highlight this so that I can find where the margin is. And it's not on this div, neither on this div, so it should be on the post. Let's click this margin right here. So it is on the post form, is it? Actually, no, it's not on the post form. It should be on the div that is housing the post form. So let's go ahead and go into the home and then the page, because our post form is right here. Actually, this is it right here. So let's remove that margin bottom. And then when our app reloads, there we go. Now we don't have that margin anymore. Much better. And then let's jump into where we have our upload button. So let's just say, let's search for upload button. I think that's what it is called. And then inside here, let's add an exclamation at the end of, or rather at the beginning of text blue 500, which is going to make this style marked as important in Tailwind. So that now when it saves, it should now update that class. There we go. So that looks much better. And on hover, it should be white. So where's the hover? Actually BG blue, so there exclamation mark as well. And that should be okay. Not, that is actually in the wrong place. BG blue 900. Let's say on dark mode hover, let's say text blue dash 50. And then let's add an exclamation here as well. Save it. And then that should be okay. I'm missing something. Oh, you know what? I'm doing something wrong. Let's add a dark hover here. So on dark mode, hover text blue dash 50. And then let's add exclamation there. So now it's going to change that on hover. Okay, it doesn't. But as you can see, when I click on it, it opens up the model. And we actually did not test out whether the model is working. Not really the model, but the upload. So let's test it out. Let me just upload this, and we should wait a moment before it uploads. Okay, so it says upload failed, and it says failed to pass response from upload thing. So is our image being uploaded? Let's check our console. Server responded with the status of 500. Okay, let's check our terminal here. For localhost, it says attempted evo create upload. Oh, I named that wrongly. So it should go into the API and into upload thing, and into, it should be the core.js, and this should be called, so just highlight this and say Control D. It should be called create upload thing. So I just mistyped it. And then now that should restart our server, and then we can test out our upload again. So let's reload that. So let's try to upload an image. So let's select this one. Okay, so it's not giving me any feedback whether it uploaded or not. So let's see, let's check our console. We have an error here. We have a huge error. Let me get where it starts from. So sending present URLs to client, this should be okay. Yes, because this is the name of the image that I uploaded. So if I were to grab this and then just copy it, then paste it on a new page, it should show me the image. Okay, it says that the route has a problem. Error not found. Okay. So I've restarted my server because we changed something in the upload thing in the route. So hopefully now it should work. So let's try to upload it again. Let's check. We still have an error. Let's see, is there anything in the console? Nothing in the console. Okay, so I've jumped into my upload thing dashboard and into the application just to see whether the files are being uploaded, and I can see right here that the files are actually being uploaded, but it's just having a problem getting it back into our Next.js application. So I'm thinking that could be an issue with my own network, because as you saw, there was an error in the beginning that showed that there was a server error 500. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue building the application, and then I'm going to give it some time, and then we can retry the upload again. So let's go ahead and jump into the explore page, which we don't yet have. So we should get a 404 page, and then we can go ahead and begin creating it. There we go. So let's go ahead and create the 404 page, and it should be inside the app folder. And then we're going to create a new file called explore/page.jsx. And then inside here, we're going to mark this file as use client. And then we're going to have some imports. So we're going to import use state and use effect. It's not giving me the drop down. Okay, there we go. Use effect. We're going to import use router from next navigation. We are going to also import use convex from convex react. We're going to import API from convex generated API. We're going to import the use kind browser client from kind of next.js. We're also going to import the main layout component which we created, and then we're going to import the post list component which we also created, and then we're going to import the input component from shardcn, so components UI input, and then we're going to import the search icon from Lucid React, and then we're going to import the toast from Sonar, and then we can begin to build out our explore page. So I'm going to say export default function explore page. So inside here, we're going to have some state values. So we're going to say const user and set user. This is going to be equal to use state, and by default, it is going to be null. And then let's copy this down 3 more times. This second one is going to say posts and set posts. And by default, it is going to be an empty array. This third one is going to be default to string, and it's going to say set search query, and then search query. And then next, we're going to have our loading. So const loading and set loading, and by default, this is going to be true. And then next, we're going to get convex. So const convex is equal to use convex, initialize that, and then const router is equal to use router. So increase the brightness a bit, and then we're also going to go ahead and get the user. So const user, and then we're going to rename this into kind user, and then is authenticated and is loading. This is going to be equal to use kind browser client, like so. So next we have our use effect, and inside our use effect, we're going to have a callback function here. And inside the callback function, we are going to be checking if is loading is true. So if is loading is true, then we simply want to return. And then if not is authenticated, then we want to redirect the user back to the home page. So router.push back into / and then return, so that we can break out of that. Otherwise, we want to go ahead and load the data about that particular user. So const load data is equal to an asynchronous function where we're going to have a try catch block. And for the catch block, we're going to do the following. We're going to say console.error, and we're going to say error loading data, then pass in the error.message. And then for the toast notification, we're going to say toast.error, and we're going to say an error occurred when loading public posts. And then we're going to have a finally block here where we're going to say set loading back into false, because remember that by default it is true. So this try block is always going to have a loading of true. If we don't set it back to false, then if we get an error, then it's always going to show the error, and we don't want that to happen. So inside the try block, we're going to say const user data is equal to await convex.query, and we want to query api.auth.get current user, which is a function that we already have. And then we're going to pass in the kind ID as the kind user .id, so that in case the user hasn't loaded in, or if there is no user, then we're not going to get the next.js error. Instead, it's just going to return undefined. And then below this, we're going to say that if there is no user data, then router.push and redirect them back to the home page, and then return like so. Otherwise, we're going to say set user into the user data that you get back from convex, and then using that, we can now load all the public posts. So we can say a comment here, load all public posts for the explore page. So I'm going to say const all posts is equal to await convex.query, and we are querying the api.posts.get all public posts, and this is a function that we don't have, so we're going to create it. And get all public posts, it's a query, so it's not going to be taking anything inside there. And then once that loads, we're going to say set posts into all posts, like so, and that should be our entire function complete. But now that it is complete, we actually have to go ahead and call it. So load data, like so, and the use effect is going to have some dependency arrays. So it's going to be dependent on convex, router, kind user, is authenticated, and is loading. And then below that, we're going to have another function called const handle post update, and this is going to be an asynchronous function. We're going to say const all posts is equal to, and we're going to say await convex.query pass in api.posts.get all public posts, like so, and then we're going to say set posts into all posts once again. And then we want to check if is loading is true or if loading is true. So remember that is loading is coming from kind browser, which is right here from kind, and then loading is our actual state value. Now if that is true, then we're going to go ahead and return a main layout here, and inside the main layout we're going to pass in the user equals to user, and user is our state value. And then inside here we're going to have our loading state. So what I want to do is, because we're going to be using this in other pages as well, I want to go ahead and refactor, and inside components, inside layout, I'm going to create a new file called loading-spinner.jsx, and then inside here I'm going to say rfc, which is going to create that for me. I'm going to rename it into loading spinner, and then we're going to return a div here with a class name of flex and height dash 96, and then item dash center, and then justify dash center. And then inside the loading spinner, we're going to have another div with a class name of size dash 32, and then animate dash spin, and then rounded dash full, and then border dash bottom dash 2, and then border dash blue dash 500. And this is just basically our spinning loading animation. So that now once we have this, then I can simply return the loading spinner here instead of having to type out that entire div. As you can see, I have control spacebar and then auto imported it on the top. So if loading is true and if is loading is true, we're going to have our loading spinner. Otherwise, we're going to have our actual return here, and we're going to be returning the main layout, and this is passing in user like so as a prop. And then inside the main layout, we're going to have a div with a class name of sticky, and then we're going to say top dash 0, and then give it a z index of 10, then border dash bottom, border dash gray dash 200, then bg white with an opacity of 80, and then backdrop dash blur dash md. And then on dark mode, we are going to have border dash gray dash 800, and then on dark mode once again we're going to say bg gray dash 900. And oops, yeah, mf does that sometimes, so let's pass that in inside here. So / and then 80, and then remove that, and then remove this. Where is it? Okay, so grab this entire thing once again, paste it here, remove this class name, and this should have an opacity. This is closing, so this should have an opacity of 80 as well. Close out this div, and then inside this div we're going to have another div with a class name of padding on the x of 4, padding on the y of 3, and then another div inside that with a class name of relative. And then inside this div with a class name of relative, we're going to have a search input here with a class name of absolute, and then top dash 1/2, and then left dash 3, and then size dash 5, and minus translate dash y by half so that it is centered properly, and then transform, and then text gray dash 400, and then close that out. It is self-closing. And then below the search input, or below the search icon, we're going to have an input, and this input is going to have a placeholder that says search Twitter, And then the value for this is going to say search query. And then on change, we're going to be calling our E. We're going to say set search query into e.target value so that we get what the user types in. And then this is going to have a class name here of rounded-full, order-none, and then bg gray, bg-gray-100, then padding on the left of 12, and then on dark mode we're going to say bg gray-800, and then close that out as the input. So we can go ahead and save that, and once we save it, then this should reload. And the reason why it was showing this is because we had not added our default export, so it evaluated before our entire application could load. So we can just wait for it to reload. So that is our loading animation, which we have refactored. And there we go. So we get an error here that says failed to load public post because we don't have that function yet, but you can see that this is almost working correctly. Now, before we can exit this page, we want to go ahead and show the post lists, which is basically the tweets rather. So we're going to render the post list component, which we created already. So this is going to take in a prop that is called posts, which is going to be taking the posts, and then current user is going to be taking the user, and then on post update we're going to call handle post update, like so. So now that we have that, we need to go ahead and jump into convex so that we can create this function. So inside convex, inside the posts, so inside posts, we can go to the bottom, which is quite far. Okay, so above delete post, so you can say export const get all public posts. This is going to be equal to a mutation, and we're going to open this up. And sorry, not a mutation, sorry, but it is a query. So inside here, we are going to have the arguments, but the arguments are going to be empty. And then the handler function here is going to be an asynchronous function, which takes in the context only because the arguments are empty. So technically, we can even remove that. And then we're going to say const posts is equal to await context.db.query, and we are querying the posts table with index of by created at, and then we want to order them in descending order so that the last one added is the first one shown. And then want to filter this, and want to filter it in terms of query.equals, and we want to pass in query.field, and we want to check for the field that is called community ID, and then otherwise want to return undefined. So it's going to check for the communities, and it's going to check whether the tweet is in a community or not, so that it shows the tweets that are not from the community. And then here we're going to say take, and we want to take the first 100 tweets. And then we're going to say return await promise.all, and then open this up, and then we're going to say posts.map, and then pass in a sync like so. And then for every post that we get back, then we want to get the author of that post. So const author is equal to await context.db.get, and we want to pass in post.author ID, and then we want to return and open up an object here. We want to spread the rest of the posts, and then we want to get the author as well. And that is how you get all the public posts. So save that, and then now our application should reload. You can see that now we see the loading state, or the empty state rather. But then now, once it reloads, it should be showing these two posts that we have in the home page. It should be showing this in the explore page, but the explore page is broken, I think. Okay, there we go. So now it's showing the correct thing. So if I were to add a new tweet, and let's actually go ahead and do that. So I can say new tweet, and then tweet this. You can see that it is added here, and on the explore page, then it is also going to be added. So if you're following someone, then they add a new tweet, then it's also going to show up here as well. And this basically gets all the tweets that are on the platform. So that is going to be it for the explore page. And next, we're going to be dealing with the notifications page.